Rumors of the NHL coming to Hamilton, Ontario have happened more than once, but it's always ended in disappointment. Hamilton feels that they can support a team. The league isn't convinced. In tonight's part 3 of our Why Not Canada series, Dave Naylor looks at Steel Town's chances of landing an NHL team.
This Burlington sports bar is as close as Blair Halchuk and Nathan Keller got to this year's Stanley Cup playoffs. But 3 years ago, they thought they might actually get to cheer for a team of their own in nearby Hamilton. They put down $500 apiece towards season's tickets.
They're selling tickets. I mean, it's coming, right? You don't sell tickets if you're not going to bring your team.
The man selling tickets was billionaire Jim Balsillie, who collected 12,000 down payments as part of his effort to buy the Nashville Predators and make them Canada's 7th NHL team. It turned out to be a down payment on wishful thinking. The NHL balked at Balsillie's plan to move the team to Hamilton. The money was refunded. The party fizzled. It was a different story in 1987. The city hosted the Canada Cup in its brand new Copps Coliseum. Hopes were high that the NHL would follow. But in 1990, Hamilton lost out to Tampa Bay and Ottawa for expansion franchises. Last spring, Balsillie was back trying to bring the Phoenix Coyotes to Hamilton, but the NHL blocked that in bankruptcy.
It seems to me like there's some kind of perceived slight by the NHL, like, no, not Hamilton, at all costs. They say for whatever reason no, even though everyone puts down tickets. And then you see these arenas half full and you're like, well, why not Hamilton?
The NHL may not want Hamilton, but Hamilton still wants the NHL. So many false hopes and dashed dreams might have convinced other cities to simply give up. But this one keeps coming back for more, because all the rejection in the world can't shake the belief that it would be a grand addition to the NHL.
We have the facility, we have the location, we have the market. It'd be silly for us to turn our backs at this stage of the game.
Everyone we spoke to believes the market is more than strong enough, and here's a big part of why. The population of Hamilton's metropolitan area is just 728,000, but within 50 miles of downtown, there is a market of over 3 million.
When you take a look at who was buying corporate boxes and who were putting their money down to purchase season tickets, you take a look at the geographic map. They're coming from all over southern Ontario.
It's not as if they're living alone in the middle of nowhere. Cities around the area of Hamilton would probably jump into the same bandwagon, and I think it's a very decent market for the National Hockey League.
So decent that the NHL entered in court that a Hamilton team would have the league's 5th highest revenues. And yet today, the NHL couldn't be less interested.
Well, are you ruling out a team in Hamilton under any circumstances?
As I said, I'm catching a plane.
The league says Copps Coliseum would need more than $200 million worth of refurbishments. Its proponents say it's much less than that.
To meet the business standards, that means corporate boxes, lighting, and all the necessary rooms to generate enough wealth to sustain a hockey team in the city of Hamilton, that the cost came in around $100 million.
The challenge becomes you have 2 other franchises in that market. So you've got a Buffalo and you've got the Toronto Maple Leafs, and so it becomes a political thing.
So what are Hamilton's chances of getting and keeping a successful NHL franchise? Its regional market is huge, and the city has decent corporate muscle to support a team, so the market rates an A-. But its arena needs costly renovations, and Hamilton is sandwiched between franchises in Toronto and Buffalo. Plus, the NHL just doesn't seem to be interested in the city. When you add in those factors, the final mark for a Hamilton franchise being viable falls to a D+.
Is that the right place? If you were going to have a second team in Southern Ontario, maybe, it belongs in London. Maybe it belongs in Waterloo. Who knows? That's not anything anyone's ever studied. The notion that, well, there's an old building there, let's go, it happens to be there, I don't think that's the way you put your franchises on the ground.
Of course, there is another possible location just down the road from Hamilton, but there's already a team there, the richest one in the entire NHL. That story tomorrow night. For SportsCenter, I'm Dave Naylor.